New numbers released just today by the Minnesota Department of Education estimates 18,000 students who attend public schools in the state are homeless, kids who are in shelters, couch hopping, or wandering the streets. And what you're about to hear is a horrifying example of what can happen when you're young and searching for a place to sleep.
Hello? Anybody home?
It's not just the fact that they are homeless,
You are watching a race against time.
but they're in danger.
Anybody there? Hello?
Under a bridge in Minneapolis, where homeless teenagers often sleep,
I don't want to wake them up. How you guys doing?
to downtown streets, where they often seek safety.
But if you guys know anybody that's staying outside tonight?
Yeah, me.
Jose Acuna is trying to rescue young people caught between homelessness and something even worse.
Some days you don't eat.
Her face may be concealed,
Some days you don't sleep.
but her emotional scars are easy to see.
I don't think I ever be normal.
We'll call her Connie. Her story so traumatic, we're hiding her face and altering her voice. She says she landed on the streets because her mother was on drugs, her father was an alcoholic, and she was just 11 years old.
So I was just on the street.
Being homeless that young is scary enough, but what can happen next is truly terrifying. Connie is 20 now, sharing her painful story publicly for the first time in hopes of saving lives.
When you outside and you homeless, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do once you get tired.
Desperate to stop sleeping on a park bench,
To be able to just take a shower or sleep in the bed.
Connie says she was approached by a stranger.
And she used to see me on the park bench all the time, so she just started asking me, like, you wanna come with me?
Outreach workers see it all the time.
Predators trying to offer the youth a place to stay. Sooner or later, they start taking advantage of them.
She bought me some food, some clothes, and then you're gonna be sucked in.
And soon there was a price paid in sex to men.
They do whatever they wanna do, when they wanna do it, how they wanna do it. As many of them as they wanna do it.
For Connie, an offer of help to get off the streets was the start of a living hell.
We think that doesn't happen here, but it has to happen right here in Minneapolis.
how often is it happening? According to the Wilder Foundation, in Minnesota, 1 in 10 boys who are homeless report that someone pushed them to sell their bodies for sex.
It's even worse for girls. 1 in 4.
All of you were homeless.
Just ask people, homeless teenagers, just a few years ago, if they were targets too.
And they were kind of forcing me verbally to come with them.
You out here on the street, you wanna make some money?
God was like, do you want to make some quick money?
It's definitely scary. I mean, sometimes I think how lucky I am.
These kids weren't trafficked, but they admit they did just about everything else to stay warm, because too often they were turned away from shelters, already full.
And is that still something that you see happening?
Yes,
Yeah.
all day, every day.
People your age or younger?
Because either all the beds are full.
You might be surprised to learn that we discovered a lot of homeless kids are still going to school.
These young people who are so vulnerable.
Carrie Schaff works with homeless students in the biggest school district in the state, Anoka Hennepin. Even in the suburbs, she says some of her students struggle to stay warm, sleeping in places you'd never imagine.
But that's a tragedy. Our young people, in high school, just trying to get a diploma, trying to survive, they spent the night last night in a porta potty. That's where they had to sleep.
Consider this. In just the last 3 years, Carrie says the number of homeless students she's counted has more than doubled, up 145%. And while schools are often a refuge, we discovered they can also be an easy target for traffickers.
But I continue to sell my body.
Remember Connie, the homeless 4th grader on the park bench, lured into sex trafficking by someone who seemed to be offering help? Listen carefully as she tells me who was offering that help.
I was in like the 4th grade. She was like in the 6th grade.
You heard right. She says she was lured in by another child, a 6th grader, also tricked into sex trafficking and manipulated into recruiting other kids. And as painful as it is to admit, Connie says over time, she was turned into a recruiter too.
I became a predator. I was preying on girls.
The cycle of homelessness and abuse had come full circle.
I shouldn't have did that to nobody.
She is one of the faces of youth homelessness, in the shadows, asking for help.
But I did.
Forever changed by the help she says she didn't get when she needed it the most.
You dream about it. You taste it, you still smell it. You don't forget.
Now, through a lot of hard work and help from the Link in Minneapolis, Connie has escaped trafficking. She's on the right track, applying to colleges, and those working with her say she's already helped a lot of people like her. We found all those young people we spoke through advocacy groups, places like Youth Link in Minneapolis, as well as Hope for Youth in Anoka. We put links to their websites and other resources at KARE11.com. And tomorrow on KARE 11 News at 5, we'll tell you about a group that's fought hard and won to create more temporary housing for homeless teens.
It is just so sad, too.